we are answering an age-old, very scientific and important question. What if the moon crashes into Earth? It's more interesting and weird than you probably think.
I love the moon. Do you love the moon? Like when you've been at a party, it's 4 a.m. and it's dark, and you leave the party, and the sky is clear with stars and the moon. Or you're walking your dog, and it's already dark, and you see the moon. That's so fucking cool, right? And I always wonder, this is gonna sound weird, why did humans create the religions that we have? Why do we believe in Allah, Yahweh, and Jesus Christ, but not in the moon? I would almost buy that. In thousands of years of religious development, we came up with raping priests and anyway, and why was there never a religion that's like, dude, I like the moon, we should pray to the moon? I could feel that. I could even see myself paying them 10 euros a month. Why did no one ever do that? You're gonna say they exist, but not on the big scale. It's because they didn't have the money and the fucking power to win all these wars. Because religion, the successful religions are the ones that win the wars. Anyway.
Let's start with the basics.
So, here we go.
Why isn't the moon on its way to crash into us already?
That's what happened, yeah.
We know that Earth's gravity pulls everything towards it, including the moon, but somehow it stays up, as if suspended by some opposite force.
That's wrong. It's because his trajectory with the second cosmic speed is high enough to keep him in the sphere, obviously.
But there is no other force countering gravity. Instead, the trick to staying up is a sideways motion that we call an orbit.
I just said that.
You see orbits every day. When you throw a ball, it makes a tiny little orbit. The only difference between the ball's orbit and the moon's is that the ball eventually hits the...
What? You guys are idiots. Let me teach you something. Second cosmic velocity definition. The second cosmic velocity is so-called escape velocity from Earth. Oh, it's the escape one. Maybe I did it first. This is the speed of a rocket, not the first one. First cosmic velocity. The first velocity is the velocity that needed to launch the body from the Earth. What?
Ground.
Whatever.
Basically, the reason
yeah, you
is...
guys are all geniuses, right? You guys are all NASA fucking experts. That's why you watch a fucking 30-year-old boomer in his underpants all day. You're so fucking clever.
Speed.
That's what I'm talking. This is what I'm explaining here. Look, he's showing
your ball fast enough, it would bend around the world and come back to you. If there were no air slowing it down, it could orbit forever. And this is what the moon does. Falling sideways around Earth very fast with no air slowing it down. Orbiting Earth every 27 days at 3,600 kilometers an hour. So, for the moon to just stop in its orbit and plummet to the Earth would break more laws of physics than we have time to explain.
I think the next people we see on the moon are sponsored by companies and not by governments.
So, how do we crash it into Earth? In a nutshell, to change an object's orbit, you need to change its speed, which changes where gravity takes it.
I sometimes thought, what if the human race doesn't find a technology that pushes Earth like a little bit closer to the sun, away from the sun? Couldn't we overcome climate change? Like, okay, climate change is happening, the world is heating up 2 degrees. What if some kind of technology pushes us like 2 meters away from the sun and the 2 degrees are gone again?
But even small changes require enormous forces, which is why all the large objects in the solar system are so stable nowadays. According to science, the moon is big and very massive.
Well, it's more likely that we go do this way than the humans actually figuring it out. Come on, man.
Even igniting billions of rocket engines all over its surface would barely move the moon.
Okay.
It looks like nothing short of magic will make the moon fall, so we'll use a magic spell that slows down the moon so much that it changes its orbit and spirals towards Earth. To get the most from the experience, the moon will take exactly 1 year before it hits Earth. Ready?
What?
3, 2, 1. Magic. Month 1. For the first few days, nothing really changes. The moon gets
This reminds me of that movie. I really liked it last month. The movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and man, the movie, Netflix. Asteroid, don't look up. Such a good movie.
Brighter,
oh god,
the scientists get
so
confused, but the rest of us don't notice anything different. The only noticeable real effect of the moon on the Earth are the tides. Tides exist
Shit
because
movie?
while Earth pulls on the moon...
Dude, with that movie, Don't Look Up, it's either you love it or you hate it. There's no middle ground. And I think that everyone that hates it is too dumb to understand it. Yeah, I think so. I think you're like, well, I didn't get the humor of it.
The moon's gravity pulls back on the Earth. Since the strength of gravity gets weaker with distance, different parts of the Earth feel a slightly different
It wasn't
pull,
supposed to be funny,
which causes the Earth, especially the oceans, to bulge when the moon is above them and contract a little on the sides when it's not. As Earth rotates every day underneath the moon's influence fluctuates, causing the water level of the oceans to rise and fall by about half a meter twice a day. But with the moon drawing ever closer, high tide gets higher every day. At first barely noticeable, within a month the moon has covered half the distance to the Earth.
But I believe in that movie. Imagine right now, let's brainstorm. Right now, a scientist in the US finds out, provingly, he knows it, it's a fact, that an asteroid is going to hit us in 6 months. What do you think will happen on this planet? Do you think we will all come together and not be weird about it? Let's be fucking real. 50% of the human race will completely go nuts, man. They will go completely boom boom. Let's be fucking real. Look at Corona, man. People can't even fucking wear a mask. They think Bill Gates is putting chips in their fucking arm. They're gonna like tweet and they will fucking meme the shit out of it.
And ocean tides have grown
That's
to
our
4
generation.
meters.
We meme everything.
Every day, high tide comes and waves flood coastal cities. And there's no end in sight. With the moon drawing ever closer, tides rise ever higher, inundating another city and more inhabitants.
Yes, they will handle the comment. I agree. Sure, we will try something. But the public, the basic humans, you and me, Twitter people, they will go bum bum. They will go bum bum.
Land
okay?
with salty water every day.
Can't even handle Corona
Month
like
2.
a normal fucking species.
By the end of month 2, the moon has covered 2/3 of the distance to Earth, and global infrastructure is crumbling as tides rise above 10 meters, displacing up to 1 billion people who happen to live near the coastlines.
Yeah, America actually, I read that. America actually has an anti-asteroid program, right? They actually get taxpayer money. That's good taxpayer money.
As ports become inoperable, shipping grinds to a halt. Not only will it slow down the delivery of Kurzgesagt products, but also...
Imagine actually something is happening that says in 6 months the planet will die. In 6 months a meteor is gonna come and kill everyone, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's inevitable. What do you think would be the average feeling? How would you feel? It must be the most melancholic thing anyone has ever felt. A lot of people will go mad and rape and pillage, right? Most people will just hang out with their family and just have barbecues and chill. It would be really weird. Thank you, Daniel.
So less exciting things like food. Global communications fall into disarray. 95% of the internet is carried by ocean-crossing cables, and while these largely don't mind the water, their terminals on land do.
I will still stream. I will totally
Living
still stream.
inland doesn't guarantee safety either. Tidal bores cause rivers to flow backwards, carrying salt water to contaminate surface and groundwater supplies.
That's not good.
Gas shortages follow as all refineries near the coast are abandoned. Countries are left with...
But isn't it weird? Thank you, Overliners. Isn't it weird how if you know that you're inevitably gonna die in 6 months, all the rules are gone, nothing matters anymore, you don't work anymore, you don't care about money anymore, you actually tell the girl you like her because time is limited, you actually tell your family you love them because your time is limited. But we already are on the clock, right? We could die at any moment. Any moment now you could have a brain aneurysm and fucking die. But our brains are coping so much that, oh, it's gonna be fine, I have 60 years left and shit. Isn't that crazy? That something needs to happen in our face before we react? And that's the danger of like global warming. It's invisible, it's on our face.
With the supplies they had on their shelves, and strict rationing will begin.
Okay, Tommy, I will do crime
In
now.
the cities, chaos reigns during the scavenging hours of low tide, while survivors take refuge in high-rises when the water returns. Month 3. 3 months in, and the moon is close enough to disrupt communication and navigation satellites. While it's normally far too distant for its gravity to cause any major problems for our satellites, the closer it gets, the more warped their orbits become.
Cyberpunk music, man.
As their fuel for orbital corrections runs out, satellites careen out of control. Months 4 and 5. On Earth, the tides are rapidly growing to about 30 meters and will be reaching 100 meters in height.
Can you imagine a 30... Like, I can't imagine this shit. That's... They, like... Like, I can't imagine big waves.
some, big waves mean big adventure places. First, also make sure to get it on
gee, is that real? Okay, here we go. 1 sec. I'm doing a little, outside.
Nazaré nightmares. Let's start our thrill-seeking hunt in Nazaré, Portugal. Daredevils all over the world know the name of this place because of the sheer size of...
Boring.
Makes us want to sit back and let the simply a coping mechanism to mask their fear.
Man, can you
Either
just...
that or the... If you're curious as to what a cruise ship under assault from the ocean would look like from a third-person vantage point, look no further than this clip, shot from a helicopter, as the ocean very nearly takes down a full-size luxury liner. As the cameras roll, the copter's crew stay remarkably silent, probably because they thought they were about to record the deaths of everybody aboard the vessel. One can only imagine the sheer panic of being a passenger on this liner, as the ship is repeatedly rocked by the merciless oncoming waves, and pitched at angles which look for all the world like they must exceed the vessel's tipping point. Incredibly, the ship manages to stay afloat, but it's still safe to say that this is likely the last cruise any of its passengers ever embarked on.
That's why I don't take shitty cruises, man. Cruises are for 80-year-old fuckboys and Arctic drama.
There are many cruise lines which operate in the Antarctic for those who have had enough of calm seas and sunny weather. In 2010, the cruise vessel Clelia II was navigating its scheduled route when rough weather caused it to lose power to one of its engines.
Yeah, fuck the ocean. I'm scared of shit.
To limp into the nearest port, the weather intensified, and the ship, along with its 160 passengers and crew, found itself fighting just to stay above the waves. The ship put out a distress call and was accompanied to port by a naval vessel, from which this video was shot. Against all odds, the vessel made it to safety, giving its passengers an experience they'll never forget, and leaving the captain confounded. He would later tell the media that in over 150 trips sailing similar routes, he had never seen weather even approaching this storm's
maybe
intensity.
Like biggest tsunami ever. Careful though, I don't want to show bad stuff. The 5 biggest tsunamis caught on camera. Let me just check if there's bad stuff. Like that shit is scary, man. That's scary shit. Nice intro, bro. Let's go. That shit. And they just always stand there like, what the fuck? Just fucking run, you dumb fuckers! Okay, careful. No. Okay, we're going to the next. That shit is like when nature, because nature doesn't give a fuck, right? Nature's just gonna get you, bro. It's not gonna show mercy. Something I always learn from these videos and movies is when something happens, you're like in a movie, right? An alien ship lands. An alien ship lands and it's opening. And all the humans are like, oh, was denn da los? Every time in your life, when you see a bunch of humans like, oh, that's interesting, you run. You get the fuck out. Let these motherfuckers die. Tsunami shit, earthquake, whatever the fucking is, man. You don't fucking, oh, yeah, let me take a picture. You just get the fuck out. You run. You don't fucking touch that shit. Don't just stand there with your phone.
At low tide, the ocean recedes hundreds of kilometers, exposing the continental shelf like vast deserts, while at high tide, walls of water drown agriculture, houses, and skyscrapers. And now, almost 5 months in, the apocalypse has finished its warm-up act. Since the oceans are on average only 3 kilometers deep, the tides have reached their maximum. Up until now, the water in the oceans could flow, absorbing most of the moon's gravitational squeezing, but now the Earth itself is really feeling the squeeze of the ever-approaching moon. These aren't so much tides of water, but tides of rock. The squeezing of the planet, combined with the weight of quintillions of tons of water sloshing on and off the tectonic plates, creates enormous stresses below and begins to cause earthquakes of increasing magnitude and intensity. It's impossible to say how serious these earthquakes might be or where they occur, but like a child jumping on their bed until it breaks, no good can come of it. Strong tidal forces lead to volcanism on other planets and moons. On Earth, squeezing the planet disrupts the magma reservoirs inside the crust, triggering sizable climate-altering eruptions in Chile, New Zealand, Yellowstone, and elsewhere.
The alien horror video is interesting, but
meanwhile, watching patiently above is the moon. Still no bigger in the sky than a small cloud. Within 75,000 kilometers of Earth, it is bright enough to illuminate the night sky like twilight. Months 6 and 7.
Yo, I remember something. You wanna get scared? You wanna get scared? So I was watching that movie, Don't Look Up, about meteors, and then comments. What did I was and then I was in bed. And the movie really fucked with me, right? I was like, whoa, wow. And I read this article. impact events. Impact events is when comets collide with astronomical objects such as Earth. Now, watch this. Where's that thing? Where is that statistic? Where? Here we go. Watch this. Where's that statistic? Oh, where's that? I want to show you something. That scared the shit out of me. Like, we are long overdue mathematically to get hit. Where's that, though? It said something like every 33 million years, and we are actually... Where is that? Here we go. Small objects being collide with Earth, they're blah, blah, blah. Asteroids with a 1 kilometer diameter strike Earth every 500,000 years average. Large collisions with 5 kilometer objects, which is planet killer events, happen approximately every 20 million years. The last known impact of a planet killer comet, though, was the Cretaceous Paleogene extinction event 66 million years ago. We are 46 million years behind by getting hit with a planet killer.
After half a year, the moon is entering the space once occupied by geosynchronous satellites, where it orbits Earth every 24 hours. It appears to float at one spot in the sky, unmoving, cycling through a full set of phases every day, but only visible to half the planet. With the moon stationary above the Earth, the tides seem to freeze in place. Half the world flooded, half with its water seemingly returned to the sea, as if Earth is holding its breath to prepare.
No, planet killer is man. Planet killer or humans. When is a comet a planet killer? Is it 5 or is it 10? What? These websites are not loading here. Oh, what the? That looks like a website you don't want to be on, man. The odds today. How big is it? Between 5 to 15 is a planet killer. You are wrong. This website is obviously very trustable. What the fuck? 5 kilometers is already a planet killer.
Worst.
You are wrong. You are
As
wrong.
the moon sinks further, you might wonder if its gravity would overpower Earth's, pulling you up and ending your misery. Fortunately not.
Website.
The Earth's surface gravity is about 6 times stronger than the moon's, so even if the moon were hovering right on top of you, you would still stay on the ground. On the moon, things are different though. The near side of the moon is more strongly affected by Earth's gravity, so during the next few months, it starts to stretch forward towards the Earth into something of an egg, triggering deep moonquakes as the lunar rock flexes and changes shape. Though barely noticeable now, this squish will grow to hundreds of kilometers in a matter of months. Months 8 to 11. At this point, the apocalypse has arrived, and we can summarize the months before the crash as everybody left has a really bad time. The tides sweeping over the Earth slow down and then reverse their direction because the moon now orbits Earth faster than it rotates.
If you really think about it, if you really get it down, the scariest thing on this Earth as a human is the mercilessness of nature, right? If you think about everything nature does to you, without any mercy, nature is the scariest thing ever. Like, a human can torture you and behead you and shit, but nature gives you death. Nature gives you, bro, here's a comet and you're gonna do nothing about it. Nature is, if a lion is just gonna eat you, he doesn't care who you are and what your social ID is and how many followers you have. A lion is just gonna fucking eat you. Alive. Doesn't care if you're still screaming, he's just gonna eat.
The planet will experience an abundance of earthquakes and volcanism. Massive amounts of volcanic aerosols rise high into the stratosphere, shiny enough to reflect sunlight back into space. What little light gets through is rust red and is periodically diminished by daily eclipses. The result is a rapid global cooling with acid rains and summer snows killing even the hardiest plants. The clock runs out on civilization. Billions have perished while an X-shaped moon is still drawing closer. Let's get ready for the grand finale. Month 12.
The end.
Finally, at the end of the year, the moon has reached...
Yeah, I like what Legendary says. The thing is, though, that nature isn't evil or good. It's just neutral. It's complete nothingness and everything. Right? And that's how I always got hope about death. We're always scared what happens when we die. If you look at nature, at the universe, it's rather good or bad. It doesn't care about that. It gives you beauty, like life and your first blowjob, and good stuff, positive stuff. It also gives you extreme horror, like really horrifying shit. That's the simulation we live in, right? And sometimes, actually, this is negative. I thought this for many years now. When I was a kid and I thought about death, I thought this is really bad. I have this from Contact, the movie with Jodie Foster. If you look at the universe and nature, it's the divergence between extreme beauty and extreme horror, right? We can come to that, right? But what does that mean for death? What if extreme beauty is life itself, the chance to exist, and extreme horror is death and the eternal void?
The Roche
Did I
limit.
make you hope there?
That's the point where Earth's gravitational pull on the moon is stronger than the moon's own gravity. Things on the lunar surface start falling towards Earth, and by the time it crosses 10,000 kilometers, the entire moon disintegrates into rubble, smearing itself into a massive ring system around the Earth. Fortunately, the moon's disintegration means the misery on Earth has ended. No moon means the general apocalyptic nature of things comes to a halt. The oceans recede, flowing off the land one last time. Any survivors are treated to a view of tremendous arches spanning the sky,
seeing that in real life.
glimmering in the sunlight, illuminating the night sky more brilliantly than any full moon ever could, while meteor showers of moon dust fill the sky. It's hard to say what happens next, but the tranquility may be short-lived. If too much moon dust rains down, friction heats the atmosphere, possibly boiling the oceans. If not, the enormous shadows cast by the rings, combined with all the volcanic and meteoric aerosols, block even more sunlight, and a period of runaway cooling could begin that freezes...
Like, do you remember that moment in your life, maybe you didn't have that, when you realized, like, you're a kid, right? You're a kid and you go to the store and you buy one of these science magazines, right? And you go home, I'll never forget this, I made a presentation in school, and you go home and you're like, oh, I'm gonna read my science stuff. Wait, what? Wait, in billions of years, the Andromeda galaxy is crashing with the Milky Way, creating a super galaxy, and you're a kid and you're like, what am I gonna do about this? What am I gonna do? What? That's gonna happen?
Is much of Earth's surface
Isn't that unimaginable
solid.
that a galaxy is gonna collide with our galaxy? Isn't that
In
insane?
any case, at some point, people will emerge again, from submarines or bunkers or mountain tops. They will not have a great time before rebuilding civilization, and their success is not guaranteed, but at least they'll be trying to do so with beautiful rings in the sky.
Yeah, well, you
So
learn that the
how
sun
do you
will die one
calculate
day,
that
right?
sort of thing?
As a kid,
well,
that really hits you.
just need a bit of insanity and some maths. If you need to brush up on the latter, our friends from Brilliant are the perfect coaches to turn your curiosity
Thank you for
into
the video. Very good video, guys. I have to call it here.